Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm doing a preview of Echobound Adventures, an upcoming cooperative and solo adventure game, and no disclaimer for my coverage, I just want to show the game so you can make an informed decision about possibly backing it. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also listen to our weekly podcast for reviews and design discussions, or join the conversation and say hi on our Discord. So Echobound Adventures is an open-world adventure game with a progressing narrative, with memory in the worlds you go to, with leveling up characters. And what I'm going to be showing today is the third session I've played of the game, so I will have already changed some things, unlocked some stuff. Nothing too earth-shattering, trust me, but if you want to see the game in its most basic form, Steve and Kim over at the Co-op Guild did a playthrough of the tutorial. You can check the video description for a link to that. And also, Paul Grogan did a playthrough of the second set of quests. I'm doing some of the ones after that. So hey, feel free to watch all three videos if you really want to see the game in action, but I'm showing stuff just slightly more progressed, no major mysteries revealed or anything. But if you don't want to see the spoilers and just want to jump straight to my thoughts at the end of the video, that's fine. Also, keep in mind that all of this is in prototype form, so things could and probably will change. Well, let's talk about what's going on in this game. So thematically, we're in kind of a steampunk otherworld version of history. I'm not quite sure of the time period it's supposed to be in, but based on like the characters and stuff, it seems probably maybe in the early 1900s. And we've discovered these echoes, these tears in reality that let us travel to other worlds and other realities. And we're part of this group that goes to those worlds and tries not to mess with stuff too much, so very Star Trek Prime Directive-y. But we try to discover things about it, explore, and also bring back medical breakthroughs and food breakthroughs from the other worlds that can make our planet better. And in the base game, there's going to be one environment, the jungle world of Zalethi. That's what I have in the prototype, and I'll be showing you today. But in the crowdfunding campaign, there will be two more, and each world has its own set of stuff, its own events, its own quests, its own ways that it'll evolve. And you can hop back and forth between worlds, between sessions, so if you get bored with Zalethi, you can jump into somewhere else. Additionally, you choose a plot each time you play, and this is which villain you're going against with their own machinations and own little story to discover. Again, in the base game and in this prototype, I just have one, Brash's Brigands. This guy, Alistair Brash, used to be a member of our group, but he just wanted to kind of rob the other dimensions and rob the other planets, so now he's a bad guy. But again, in the crowdfunding campaign, there will be two more plots and expansions you can buy if you want to have more variety. So we each have standees. In the final game, these are going to be miniatures. I'm just going to put them here and try to make them fit on the tiles because they are pretty big. And you start out on the base camp. So the map is going to be made up of tiles. As we explore, we'll be adding more tiles onto things. Some tiles will have sites on them, like the base camp has this A, which correspond to these site cards, which will let you have little story events there or encounters, meet with villagers, that kind of stuff, or have special abilities. Here at the base camp, we can heal ourselves as an action. Locations will also have difficult terrain around some of their sides. So you'll see there's like a little black cube here and here, which will make moving across those sides more dangerous. It's a little bit like Unsettled if y'all have seen any of my videos of that one. But I'm about to add a whole bunch more locations, and a key thing of both the mechanics of the game and the lore of the game is that for whatever reason, these dimensions and these locations are shifting and changing every time you go to them, which means in-game that the locations are going to be randomized. So in one game, there might be a pit over here to the right, and then in the next game, there might be a river there. It'll totally change up. There are 4 characters to play in my prototype, and you do have to control 2 if you're playing solo. Here I've got Cordelia Lockwood. She's really good at exploration and movement, at least with the way that I've controlled her right now, because you start out with one of these skill cards, and you can pick which side to use each time you play. You get a second one very early on in the tutorial, and then you can hold up to 4, but I haven't unlocked that many yet. So I've given her 2 that'll help her explore and move more readily, but I could kind of build her in a different way. Additionally, she's got 10 health and 10 mind, sanity, I don't know what they called it here. And she's also got die indications for the 4 stats. These determine what kind of dice she's going to roll while taking specific skill checks. The orange D12s have the most successes on their sides. Next are the purple D10s, and the worst dice are the blue D8s. So she's worst at this, best at this, and okay at both of those. Additionally, you can get items. She's gotten a ton. My other character's gotten 0. So I've got a fish that can help me when I'm fishing, which is a little activity you can discover. I've got some totems that have been given to me by a ghostly child, as well well as this girl carving, which has an icon which could be called for in a future encounter. This is a game where you're going to discover and unlock more and more stuff each time you play, and you'll change up the world, so the next time you visit, it'll have different things going on. So I don't know what this is for yet, but I've got it. And then to balance things out, I've also got Bill Bulliam. He's a big bruiser. He's really good at strength, and both of his skills are about fighting the way that I've given him. Basically, he gets to deal more damage when he gets hurt by enemies, and he gets to move and attack in a single action. Some other stuff to show you. I do have a milestone from the tutorial called the Zalethi Quake, which has its own icon, kind of like the girl carving, and that's going to allow us to unlock certain things and have different encounters at certain locations. So as we complete more quests, you'll see the 2 quests I'm going for at the moment, you'll unlock more of these milestones, and those will let you progress things on the planet more and more. I'm not 100% clear yet on what the end game is. There's certainly a story here and mysteries to discover and things to progress, but I don't quite know, like, if you finish a planet, quote unquote, or discover the full secrets of it. Those are things that won't be determined, I guess, until the entire game is done, and I don't have that information. Each character also gets some action tokens. In 2-player, you each get 4 tokens. In 4-player, you each get 2 tokens, and in 3-player, you each get 3 tokens. So it kind of balances out your activity. And in a given player's turn, you have to use all of your action tokens, and then you can go to the next character. Except in 2-player and solo, you can, if you like, only do 2 actions, then switch to the other character, and then switch back. You don't have to do that, but it gives you a bit more flexibility in how your characters play out their stuff, just because they have so many actions to do in one turn. Now, there's several other things going on. Let me talk you through them, then we can get into playing. So you've got this scheme board. It's going to have a deck of schemes. These are going to be flipped basically as like the bad enemy stuff at the end of each round. It's going to spawn enemies, have them activate, that kind of stuff. This is straight from the Brash's Brigands plot. It is its own evolving deck, so I've already taken some cards out of it and added some cards in based on things that happened previously. I've also got the Act 1 card for Brash's Brigands, which is always the same as far as I can tell, but if I take too long in a given mission, I'll draw a random Act 2 and have some other stuff happen, and the Act 2 cards can change, at least based on a quick glimpse through the cards, but this Act 1 one is going to be basically always the same for the entire campaign. And hey, let's try a little flavor text. Pirates of the Echoes. Alistair Brash and his gang of mercenaries have targeted this echo for plunder. His crewmates are fiercely loyal, their devotion bordering on unnerving, as if something unseen whispers in their ears. Uphold your oath, protect this dimension from exploitation, drive Brash and his pirates out, and make certain not a single captain is left behind when you extract. So again, at least in the current version of the game, that is always going to be the starting plot when I'm going against Alistair Brash, except in the tutorial. But maybe there'll be more in the final version, I'm not sure. Now, additionally, I get to choose a mission card. I currently have 2 unlocked, Pathfinder and Investigate Zalethi. Paul used Pathfinder in his playthrough, so I figure I'll show the other one. And this will also give you some flavor text and some setup information. It says, the unusual tremors in Zalethi, this is something I encountered in the tutorial, continue to intensify. They may be signs of an impending calamity. BEE wants you to log everything as you explore Zalethi. Something must point to the source of these tremors. That little magnifying glass next to a 5 refers to the narrative journal for Zalethi. This has all the encounters and things you can have in the game, but it also, for the ones with magnifying glass, gives you optional things to read about the background of the world you're in. In this case, B is short for the Bureau of Exotic Energies, and they study phenomenons and anomalies and that kind of stuff, and they're curious about these tremors. But in terms of setup, when I embark, I divvy up 4 Moxie, that's the blue icon. That helps you in skill tests and also gives you extra actions. And 3, I think it's goods or cargo, I forget what those are, but they're used to perform actions as well amongst all stewards. And then we're going to explore 6, which is a heck of a lot. I'm going to put out a lot of map cards. But let's look at our quests first, see what we might want to put out. And for the resources, I'll give him each 2 Moxie. And then I'll give 1 crate to Bill and 2 to Cordelia, because he's going to be fighting people more than she is, and you tend to get crates from defeating enemies. Okay, before we explore, let's look at a few more things. So I get to pick 2 quests, or up to 2 quests, whenever I go on a session, whenever I explore a planet. I currently have 3 quests unlocked. Meet the Locals was also in Paul's playthrough, but both of these are new, because I completed the other one he was trying. So tremors increase, as Arthur has asked that we ask the locals about the tremors and what might be causing them. Arthur is our boss. That little triangle-ish icon on the right is how many basically experience points I get for completing this. And the text at the bottom shows how I actually do it. It says I can inquire, take an action to inquire while at a settlement, and I need to pass a 2 skill check for that icon to read the special entry. So I need to find a settlement first. Given Rivers of Zalethi, Pippa, that's the lead scout who kind of leads our expeditions, urges you to master the skill of navigating the Rivers of Zalethi. So I can take an action to canoe while at a location with a river that is connected up to 2 other locations with rivers. And then if I can pass a 4 agility test, which is pretty hard, I can place my figure on any space adjacent to the connected location so I can travel along the river. And then I mark my character, and if we're all marked, then I advance. We have to each travel on the river once to complete this one. And these are generally the main things you're going for, because those are, so far, at least in my couple of plays, what are going to advance and unlock a lot of the content in the game. Although you can also change things up with events and with locations. So locations is what I'm going to scout from. I'll be doing that in a second. I'd like to find a settlement and put it near us, and I'd like to find some rivers for the canoeing. And events, these are a mix of events from Zalethi, our environment, and from Brash's Brigands, the plot. And they're going to be drawn when I go on to locations that have a little event token, which is especially important for the Investigate Zalethi mission, because we're going to get extra experience, extra progression for unmarking, for exploring more event spaces. And we also have negative things happening on event spaces that we don't deal with from those effects at the top. So yeah, we want to find rivers, we want to find a settlement, we want to deal with some events. Let's see how it all goes and do that initial 6 exploration. So when you explore, you draw the top card of the location deck, you reveal it, and okay, we got a river already. And you get to place it out basically however you like, with some restrictions based on the environment. For Zalethi, the big restriction are rivers. If you have water on a space, you cannot put it such that water would go into non-water. But otherwise, I could rotate this and put this however I want. Now, there's some things on this space. First of all, you see an icon that the native animal, the native foe in Zalethi, the wild boar, is here. There will be enemies on the map. Most of them will chase you and try to attack you. Wild boars are territorial. They just stay where they are. But if you move into their space, you have a chance of getting hurt. So you want to put the wild boar kind of out of the way. Also, I already mentioned that crossing over sides of locations that have these little black cubes means you're more likely to take damage. So for this one here, this makes it kind of the friendliest it can be. This line's an error, by the way. So there's no cost to cross over either of these sides, which you can get to the river for free, which is good because there's an end there. There's some thing to explore that I've actually not seen yet, because this is a fat location deck and I have not gone everywhere. So it'll be free to get over there. The board's kind of out of the way. We probably don't have to worry about him. And we've got our first river for the canoe. Okay, so that was one. Let's draw another one. Ooh. Is this a settlement? It looks settlement-y, doesn't it? So let's do it like that, so we can easily head north to it, again, without having any negatives, and also like it can lead us to the river if we want to canoe. Okay, now this one's going to start out with an enemy and with a boar, so 2 things. So that sucks. I don't really want to go over there. Here we go. That can hang out all the way over there. I will put out the actual tokens for these things after I'm done. So that's 3 of 6. Okay, oop, we got another river. Ooh, was somebody there? I think I met that person before. That looks familiar. Now, I could start a new river, but remember, I want to have rivers connected to other rivers for the canoeing. So I'll put that there. That does mean, by the way, the enemy is on the wrong side of things. It'll take him like an extra move to cross over the bridge, because each card is its own movement, is its own location, unless it's split. So like this one is split into 2 sides with the line, or split by a river. So that's 1 area, 1, 2 areas, 1, 2 areas, 1, 1. Okay, 2 more. Ooh, another river with a pig and an event. Well, let's put the event up here because we kind of want to deal with that. Now we've got a perfect canoeing spot and really very few difficult terrains, the black cubes you have to cross over. Oh, and we got a river head here with another event. Here, let's slide everything. I don't know, be going that way so much. And sure, we could start a new river, but let's just make things look nice and pretty for our first 6 explorers. It also means that if we find some other things we really want to get to, we can put them down here and have them very close to our base camp. Okay, so now I'll put out guys. Again, these would be standees, so they'd be fitting better, but we got some of these crewmates. These are the basic foes for Brash's Brigands. So if I was playing a different plot, I can imagine there'd be other things going on. And we've got a bunch of these wild boars. Again, they won't move. They're just guarding their side of the river. So if I just stay around here, everything's going to be fine. Then I put out events so that the first time I move into those locations, I will draw an event card, which are often negative. But again, for the current quest I'm on, Investigate Zalethi, I kind of want to deal with them. And finally, for each of these special sites, except for A, where we start, I'm going to cover it with one of these Moxie tokens. When we move into the location, we get to pick up that Moxie for free. And Moxie, again, can help you mitigate your die rolls, and it can also give you free movement actions and things. But additionally, that'll mark that we've actually encountered the location. So when we move in, we'll get the Moxie and we'll grab the matching site from the Zalethi site deck to find out what kind of encounters we have there. All right, cool. So that's it for setup. Let's get into what a turn looks like and actually take you through this adventure. So on a player's turn, again, you use all your actions, except in solo and 2-player, I can just use 2 if I want. And for each action, I can explore, which is the same thing you just saw, except I can spend Moxie on a 1-to-1 basis to draw extra location cards, and then choose which one of them I want to put down and put the rest on the bottom of the deck. So if I'm looking specifically for a settlement or something like that, I can save myself a lot of actions. Sprint for an action lets you move up to 2 times. Fight, if you're in a space with an enemy, you can attack them with your strength. You can do an action on a site, like the base camp action to heal yourself. You can do an action on any other card. And then finally, if you have at least 1 progress on the quest, so you've at least accomplished something, and you're all in the breach location and there are no restrictions, which comes from the plot, then you can leave. So the players have a large extent of control over how long they want to play the game. By the way, for this current plot, it says the extract restriction is if a captain is in play. These are extra strong foes that will be brought out by special effects. Okay, additionally, free action. So these are things you can do for free on your turn. You can spend Moxie to get free shifts. You spend 1 Moxie to move your steward to an adjacent space. So it's like half a sprint, but without using an action. As I already said, you get to investigate for free, picking up the Moxie and looking at the site card. You can use items for free generally. You can trade crates back and forth for free, although you can't trade Moxie, the blue token that is inherent to your character. And skill tests will sometimes be free as well. All right, cool. So let's have Cordelia go first, and then we'll have Bill go beat up some people. So her special abilities, now that you know a bit more about the game, when she shifts, so when she does one of those 1 space movements, either by spending a Moxie or as you'll see from her ability, she doesn't have to roll the black dice for crossing dangerous terrain. Now, there are almost none with how the map ended up getting set up, but still, it's a pretty cool ability. And then Board to Explore goes well with it. Whenever she takes an Explore action, she can shift 1 space for free, which again will not have to roll black cubes. And she's again got the girl carving and the fish if we end up fishing. The Viper Totem lets her get better help or give better help. When you're on the same location as another character and they take a skill test, you can give them 1 of the dice in your color, but this would let it be a stronger dice and also give her a Moxie, but it's a 1-time use, and then she discards it. And the Heron Token lets her get 2 Moxie and trade with anyone anywhere on the map, which is pretty nice. So sure, for her first action, let's go ahead and explore again. Because she really wants to move 1 into one of these places, so instead of using a sprint action or one of her only Moxie. So she's just doing a single explore. She could again spend Moxie to draw more cards and pick one. Okay, it's just another river with an event. And this time we can't connect it to the other river because that one is completely done. So sure, we'll go here. And she could go in there just to deal with the event if she wants to. But for now, she's going to go up here and see what's up with this thing. All right, so that was her free shift. And now also for free, she will get the Moxie and check out what's up with Site L. Prayer Circle. You find a bucolic village built in a large clearing in the jungle. Villagers pray in a circle at the center of the village. A young priestess stands near the entrance and bows, welcoming you forward, then gestures for you to stay quiet. She gives you a blessing as you step forward. Gain a Moxie, and I would get 1 sanity health back if I had lost any, which I haven't. And then I read 105. I am Yulwei, the young priestess whispers. We must not disrupt their prayers. Please be patient. You stand at the edge of a circle while the villagers meditate. After closing the meditation with a final prayer, an older priestess approaches. Welcome, strangers, she says. I am High Priestess Melway. I trust my daughter blessed you upon your arrival. She walks you through the village, touching and blessing every villager she passes. Thank you for not disrupting our prayers to the Eternal Spirit, she says as you walk. Here in Malik Vale, we master mind over body. Our prayers can even ease the woes of the flesh. All we ask in return is a small offering, so we may continue our mission to unite all of Zalethi in peaceful balance with the Eternal Spirit. Okay, so if we had that milestone, which we don't, that would have been on a quest we completed earlier or something, we would read a special entry. Otherwise, we archive Prayer Circle, so this often happens, like the first time you go to a location, so this card is going into the box in the archive section, and it's gone. And we're getting a new card, which will always apply in the future when we go to Site L. We won't have the Prayer Circle again, we'll just be able to interact with the village, I guess. So here we go, Malik Vale Village. Villagers pray in a circle at the center of the bucolic Malik Vale Village. They really like using bucolic for this one. Again, that is a magnifying glass 9, so we could get more information on the village if we want to. We also now have an action when we're here. You may spend crates to heal. For each crate you spend, gain 2 brain back, which I guess could be good if we were super hurt. And it does give us another way to get this milestone, although the entry is slightly different. I guess the first one would have mentioned that the prayer circle was still going on. So a mystery to be discovered, but for now, not much else going on here. Though we still got the Moxie for going in there, so that's cool. All right, Cordelia's only done one action, so even if I wanted to, I could not switch to Bill yet. So what the hey, let's have her do another explore. So we're only drawing one thing again. Ooh, X, and there's a pirate. Okay, so there we go. That seems like a pretty good fit. Now, unlike us, pirates can cross over rivers, but if they do, they can't also attack that turn. And same thing if they cross over difficult terrain to get to us. So if you're careful in your positioning, then you aren't too likely to get hurt. All right, so she could move one more. She's way better at agility. I'm trying to figure out how to do this river thing. So what if I use her free move to go in here and find out what's going on with this place? That gets her a 5th Moxie, so she has a lot now. And then Bill can come in here and get helped by her with that tough agility test. All right, and F. Anacardo the healer. Anacardo lives outside the village to be closer to natural ingredients he uses to make healing salves. Yes, if it's somebody I already talked to in the past. Oh, I didn't realize they have the exact same little quest icon there. Clearly something big is going to happen with the environment and the people here, and I'll be able to interact with them in new ways. But yeah, for now, he has basically the exact same thing as the Malak village, except his can heal 2 hearts for crate instead of 2 brain, although I can just, as an action, heal 3 for free at the base camp, so I don't know if I'll ever use either of those. Okay, so Cordelia has used 2 actions. I can optionally switch to Bill, and I think I will. So his abilities are Charging Bull. As an action, I can charge, move 1 space, and then fight a foe in that space. So kind of a combination of a shift and an attack. And I also have Take Your Best Shot. When I fight, I can treat any hits on the danger dice, you'll see that soon, as a free success in addition to its regular effect. So the more they hit me, the more I hit them. But let's go ahead and do a sprint for his first action. I'm going to go join Cordelia here. Now, they could freely exchange crates at this point, but she can't give him any of her copious Moxie, which is unfortunate. Maybe I should have had Bill be the one to explore the healer space, but oh well. But now for his second action, I want to try canoeing. So it says, while at a location with a river that is connected up to 2 other locations with rivers, yes, I can check for agility. That's he's got medium skill in that. And if I succeed, I place my figure on any space adjacent to the connected location. I'm a little confused by that. So do I go onto the river or onto something next to the river? I'm going to say it's onto one of the adjacent rivers. I think it's worded somewhat weirdly. And then I mark my character. So skill test time. How does it work? So we are going to roll always 2 dice based on the character. So here it's an agility test. I've got 2 D10s. So the D10s have more single and double skill icons than the D8s. You'll see there are more misses on these. And then the D12s have even more skill icons. So it's not like you're actually rolling higher numbers. You just have more of the correct die faces there. Okay, so I get 2 of those. I could additionally, for 1 Moxie each, add more dice of that same color if I wanted to. I don't in this case. I think I'm going to be okay, because since Cordelia's in my space, she gets to give her agility die to me for free, which gets me already to 3 dice. And then I add danger dice. In a basic skill test like this one, I always start with 1 danger die. When I'm fighting enemies, I'll instead roll danger dice based on their stats. And what's going to happen is I'm going to roll the dice, I'm going to resolve any danger effects I roll, and I'm going to total up the successes. And then if I want to go again, I can keep all my successes, I bank those successes, and I roll again, but I add a 2nd danger die. And then I can roll again and add a 3rd danger die. So you can basically push your luck and go as long as you need to get the successes you need in anything except what's called a quick check. If you have a quick check, you only get a single roll. So yeah, I'll go ahead and do this. I'll probably fail in the first one. I have to go again with 2 danger dice, but so it goes. Okay, that was a great roll. So I got 3 successes. I banked those. I got nothing on the danger die. But if I had gotten that, it would have dealt damage. It usually defaults to health damage unless an effect indicates that it's your brain instead. And if I'd gotten this, which is a 1 out of 6 result, the threat track on the scheme board would have advanced. When that gets to the end, the pirate's plot advances and that Act 2 card comes into play. If it advances again to the end, then the boss comes out. So that is just terrible. But anyway, I got 3 successes banked. We're going to go again and roll a 2nd danger die. So I still have all 3 successes I got, and I would have already resolved the danger dice. It is a whole new roll, just building more up. Okay, so I got 3 more successes, more than enough, but I did take a single point of damage. Maybe I hit myself on a rock while I was rafting. And it said, as part of the action, I get to move, I think, to an adjacent thing. Do I want to go here or here? Let's go here, because then I can go fight a pirate. So whenever you move into a space with an event, you have to draw it and resolve it. So I take the top event card. Reinforcements. A flare streaks across the sky. Moments later, Brash's goons descend on your location. They must be tracking your every move. Okay, I place another pirate on my space. Yeah, I'm going to have to punt some guys. But now the event is gone, so I would not resolve it again. And the mission gives me another way to earn experiences. After I extract or a crisis begins, gain 1, I forget what it's called, adventure point, that little triangle symbol, per 3 unmarked events on locations in play. Unmarked meaning the icon has been resolved and the token has been taken away. So I have 1 unmarked event at the moment. All right, Bill's done 2 actions, so I could switch back to Cordelia, but it's my option. I don't want to. Let's punch. So I'm going to go have Bill attack. All right, so he's rolling his strength, which is 2 dice. And then look at the crewmate. So we've got a few things going on here. Their health value is the number of successes I have to accrue in a skill test like the one you just saw. So here, if I get 2 successes or more, and it could be, again, across multiple rolls, I will defeat them. So you can't, like, do partial damage and beat them again in a later fight action. It has to be all or nothing. And then this is the starting value of the danger dice. So unlike the regular skill test that I just did here, I'm going to start with 2 danger dice. And if I don't get at least 2 successes the first time, I'd have to go to 3 danger dice to try again, and then 4, then 5. You get the idea. But remember, with Bill's take your best shot ability, if they roll one of these symbols, it's going to do a damage to me, but also give me an extra success. And orange dice are the best dice anyway. So I think I'll be fine without spending any moxie or anything. And yeah, oh, geez, that was way too much. So I did 1, 2, 3 successes. I took 2 more physical damage, so I'm down to 7. If anybody goes to 0, then you have to do an emergency extraction. You immediately end the mission, and you only get half of the experience that you built up, so you won't be able to do as much cool stuff. But I did 1, 2, 3, take your best shot, 4, 5, so a bit more than the 2 I needed to defeat him. And their ability says whenever you defeat one of them, you can get a crate or a moxie. I'll get a moxie since Bill is pretty low on that. And with that, they are removed. And you want to remove the non-boar characters because they are going to be moving towards you and attacking you if they reach you. So they're pretty annoying if you just leave them on the board. All right, for Bill's final action, why not? I'm going to charge and bull, move and attack into this guy's space. And same thing again. And, ooh, much better roll. They didn't do anything to me, and I defeated them. And for now, I'll still get another moxie. I haven't seen anything that specifically requires crates yet, but sometimes quests or encounters will need them. But for now, I think I'm okay. All right, so that finished up Bill's actions. Cordelia still has 2 actions left. She could do her own little subnautical journey on the river. That seems like maybe the way to go. Oh, shoot, I forgot when we were on the village, I could have inquired about the tremors at the settlement, although she's worse at it than Bill is with the stat we need. Oh, I could complete both quests this time? That's awesome. Usually I only get 1. So let's do this. For her first action, she will try to go down the river and maybe explore this, I'm thinking. So she's got orange for agility, and she needs 4 successes. So should I just go for a double? She does have 5 moxie. I could probably just spend 2 moxie and make things a lot easier. Yeah, you know what? Let's do that. So I'm going to spend 2 moxie to get to 4 orange, so I have a pretty decent chance of just one-shotting the skill test. Hey, I did, and wow, I'm getting super lucky. Sometimes you roll a ton of these, and it fast-tracks the game ending, or at least getting more 10s. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so she has rode the river. Okay, so she'll go here. Let's see what happened with the quest now that they both marked themselves before I explore this new location. And the river quest, by the way, said place myself on the location, so I don't have to worry about the negative difficult terrain effect here. Okay, so we're going to read 44. Rough River Run. Great work, Pippa exclaims as you pull the canoe out of the water. I've seen how rough the Zalethi Rapids can be. You should be proud of your accomplishments. I'll get this canoe back to camp so you can get back out there and continue exploring Zalethi. Okay, so I complete and archive the quest. Ooh, we each get a moxie. Ooh, and we each unlock a new skill. We can use it immediately. Oh, they're all the same skill. Okay, but we each get our own copy. So this one did not advance the story at all, but it did give us new stuff. So we got 2 options. Canoe Master. When you sprint, you may move across rivers, and they are considered dangerous terrain too. Ooh, that would give us a ton of extra mobility. Or Threat Assessment. Oh my gosh, you don't raise that terrible track when you roll for crossing dangerous terrain? That's the one right now. I mean, I guess I don't have a way to cross those rivers, but there's nothing to cross them anyway. See, I'm doing threat assessment for both characters. That's wild. All right, yeah, that quest is archived, and we do get 1 point. Which I will note means that we could, if we really wanted to, go back to base camp since there's no captains in play. The extract restriction is not in effect. And we could just leave with our 1 point if we needed to. So you can really make the game as short as you need to. I mean, I'll play a little bit more. I've barely discovered anything yet. I'm going to try to do the tremors inquiry with that settlement. All right, and now Cordelia can go ahead and see what N is. Have I been to N before? I don't think so. You come upon a rushing waterfall that cascades down into a pond. Somehow the pond never seems to fill. Investigate. Check 3. Okay, she's decent at that. She has D10s. To read 122. Huh. Well, I do want to go talk to the settlement about the tremors, but this is kind of cool too, and often doing these encounters and things will get you more of those adventure point experience points. So sure, let's use her 4th action of a turn, because no pirates are going to be able to reach her and attack her. So she's got 2 D10 for the lantern skill. She has so much moxie. But even if I spend 1, I might still have to go a second time, and I don't really want to spend 2. Well, I also don't want to get negative things happening. So what the hey, I'll spend 2 moxie. Jeez. Okay, so I got 3, and I still didn't get any negative stuff. This is kind of crazy. Good job, Mike. Monkey business. You gaze deep into the pond, but can't see the bottom. A reflection on the surface catches your eye, however. When you look up, you see a scarlet-haired monkey filling a canteen on the far side of the pond. It corks the canteen, gives you a sly wink, and leaps into the jungle canopy before you can react. What the heck? I've encountered ghosts. I've not encountered hyper-intelligent monkeys yet. Okay, so I get I get an adventure point. I gain a milestone. Ooh, and I read some more. Here's a new milestone, not the one that the settlements need to progress. Red monkey. You spied a scarlet monkey filling a canteen at the edge of the endless pond. He disappeared after winking at you. You wonder if anyone in the jungle knows about this strange, intelligent monkey. Okay, cool. Another little thread to follow in a future game, probably. And inconclusive results. The water should be safe, but when you test it with your field analysis kit, the results are inconclusive. You hesitate for a moment to consider your options. Okay, so I archive this version of the Endless Pond and put a new one into play. The water shimmers with an almost magical twinkle. The monkey drinks here, though, so how bad can it be? I don't want to drink. Well, either way, I'm out of actions, but I'm a little scared. All right, so both of our characters have finished all 4 actions, which means we advance to the plot phase. So we're going to uncover the plot icon, trigger mission effects, resolve the scheme card, and then see if threat is at its max. Let me show you each of those steps. So first we flip the top scheme card, but we don't do anything with it yet. Instead, we look at this symbol here, and we match it up with our currently chosen mission card. So it says Tremor. All stewards quick check. That means you don't get to do multiple checks. Agility 2. If successful, they gain a moxie. Otherwise, they lose a health and a brain. So we resolve that back of the next card and this little quick event before we get to this. All right, Cordelia's first. She's got 2 orange. I'm sure she'll be fine. Yep, she got 3. She did take 1 damage, but she gets an extra moxie. As for Billiam, he'll spend a moxie to get a 3rd die. And then, if he succeeds, he'll get the moxie right back. Seems a little safer for him. Okay, he takes a damage as well, but he gets his moxie back, so that wasn't too bad. Okay, now we resolve the scheme. Suddenly, enemy forces spring from hiding, moving to seize your possessions. You must react quickly before they make off with what you carry. Okay, we activate each foe. Activating's very simple. So they move towards the nearest person. So 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, because remember they can cross rivers. So this guy will go here. This guy will go here across the bridge. This guy will go here. And then if they are in a space with a character and they didn't cross difficult terrain or an obstacle, so not a bridge, but like this guy going across the river, then they would get to attack you, which is as simple as just rolling the same 2 danger dice. Okay, and then place a pirate in the space of the steward with the most crates. Then if each steward has at least 1 crate, I'm going to do a new plot card. Interesting. So most crates is unfortunately Cordelia, but this guy does not attack because we're already past the activation step. Then it said read 47. These come from the Brash's Brigade plot cards. Here you're reading a card instead of a booklet. At least in the current form of the game, there are no booklets for the brigands and the plots. Hunger for plunder. The initial ambush barely gives you time to catch your breath before their attacks intensify. It becomes clear that they are driven by something more than opportunity. The hunger for plunder fuels every blow. So I archive sneak thieves. Yes, this happens a lot where you get like nastier versions of things. Okay, and then we get scheme 48 and we archive this card. And yeah, we're not going to resolve this one this game, but for next time, they would place somebody and then activate, and they would deal double damage, but we could take the damage as crates instead of hearts. What the heck? Well, that just made the game harder next time, but for now, we're good. Okay, and finally, we check the threat track to see if it's at its max. And yup, it's just so maxed out. It's totally doing great. This is a wild low level of threat compared to other games I've played. But again, if threat went to the right, we would resolve the threat max, where in this case we would get a random Act 2 plot. And then if we advance it again, then the boss would come out, and then it would reset to there. So it is a badness timer. Sometimes you'll want to end your expedition early if threat is advancing too quickly for you. All right. So what do we want to do now? I want Bill to punch some people. I kind of want Cordelia. You know what? We're going to do it. Let's drink the water. I don't know what's going to happen. So reading 124. You drank it? The water is light, refreshing, and thoroughly quenches your thirst with a single sip. After a few moments, however, a searing pain spreads across your forehead. No. Oh, quick check agility. Oh, no, that's strength. Cred. She's not as good at that. Although she's not terrible either. I only need one success. I'm not going to waste a thing on it. Okay, we did finally get a threat increase, but she certainly passed the test. Sacred echoes. As your headache clears, your vision distorts into a series of geometric patterns. One shape in particular, a circle within a circle, imprints on your eyes. What is going on? From its sides, you see waves of energy pulsating and distorting everything around it. They remind you of echoes. You struggle to make sense of it all. Oh, shoot. This is like a skill test after skill test after skill test. Okay, I gotta do this. So quick check, that one is also purple. I'm going to spend a Moxie to get 3 of these because now I want to see where this crazy train goes. What the heck? Okay, I advanced threat again. There we go. Now it's happening, but I definitely passed again. Who are you? Soon after, the circular shape transforms into the silhouette of someone you don't recognize. You attempt to communicate with the humanoid shape. Shoot, I got to quick check my worst skill and get 3. I only got 3 Moxie left. I'll spend 1 Moxie to get a 3rd die. Remember, if I fail this entire thing goes away. Come on. Okay, we got it. Hey, and we didn't get anything bad. Okay, that was great. It's all connected. The silhouette beckons you to follow. It soon leads you to a maze before transforming into a monkey, then a fish, then a monstrously giant bird. It swoops right at you. I'm just going to die from all this. I feel like I'm on the craziest trip ever. Okay, quick check agility. I'm good at agility, but I'm going to spend my last 2 Moxie to get to 4. And I need 4 hits. Come on, this should happen. Yeah, let's go. Took a damage. I'm down to 8. Oh, wait, I just remembered. I think I'm doing this wrong. Whenever you get a hit on a skill test with one of these, you take brain. Whenever you get a hit on a skill test with one of these, you take damage. Obviously, Mike, that's like how the graphic design is showing it. I mean, for now, it's fine, but I feel like maybe I messed it up once. But okay, let's see what happened. Reaching the center, you make your way unerringly to the center of the maze, where you find a black dot surrounded by concentric rings. When you reach out to it, the ring system splits into multiple copies, filling your vision. You awaken next to the endless pond, feeling refreshed and determined. Do I? Certain you were granted a glimpse at some deeper understanding of the multiverse. Okay, I get a experience and a Moxie. And do I get a milestone? Watery vision. Again, this matches nothing I've seen so far, but I'm sure it'll be cool later. And I read this. Flash of vision. Flashes of the vision granted by the endless pool flit through your mind, filling you with the urge to partake of its waters again. Dude, no. You are certain the water helps you foresee possible futures. Oh, look at the top 3 cards of the event deck. Place them back on the top or bottom of the event deck in any order. Archive that endless pond and get a new one. Let's see. Thalmic Tremor. That's not too bad. Place a random captain in your space. Definitely not. Increase threat by 1. Ooh, but I can do something special. I kind of like that. Sure, let's leave those on top and put the other one on the bottom. All right, now, if I drink at the Endless Pond, I can look at the top 3 cards of the event or location deck, place them back on the top or bottom of the respective deck in any order, then gain 1 Moxie and mark this card. And the end of that event said to mark it as well, so that means I cannot use it on this go-round. But if I find the Endless Pond in a future play, then I'll be able to drink the water again. So they often do that. Well, dude, that was some wild stuff right there. That was craziness. All right, for a second action, I'm going to have her sprint to here, because remember, she's bad at the skill needed to do the other quest at the settlement, but she can help Bill do it, and she's also getting away from all these enemies. So switching over to Bill, he's got a ton of Moxie. I'm going to spend 1 of his 5 to do a the shift over there. Then I'm going to use his charge ability to come in here and smack this guy. And again, I don't think we need anything special here. That was 3 hits and nothing. I'm rolling the best of my life here. Gosh, I guess I'll give him another Moxie. He's just got so much. Yeah, and in that case, let's spend a Moxie to move in here for free. He's still got 4 left. And now he can do the settlement action. This is inquiring about the quakes, so I need to test that. Is that supposed to be like a microphone? Is it like charisma? That would make sense, yeah. So Bill's got 2 D10s, and then Cordelia contributes. She's not much of a talker. 1 blue. I think that's good enough without Moxie. Yep, we got 2, but we advanced threat again. See, I told you that thing could move, didn't I? All right, let's see what's up. So I read 45. You meet Anacardo, the healer, leaving the village and ask about the tremors. Hey, that's funny, since in this particular instance of the game, he's right next to this village. He glances at the village. Only that they put everyone here in danger, he says. I'm just a healer. I can't say I know more than what they'll tell you. Excuse me, I have deliveries to make. After he leaves, you can't shake the feeling that Anacardo was holding back. Oh, which village am I at? Malik, so 48. Divided we fall. Melway blames the tremors on a lack of unity. The eternal spirit grows restless because we stand divided, she says. This is our punishment. She recalls the conversation she just had with Anacardo. He agreed that until we are all united, our trouble will continue. You thank Yinhua, and she chants... Wait, Yinhua, did they mess that up? And she chants a prayer that soothes your mind. Okay, complete an archive. The mission. Cool. All stewards gain 1 Moxie. Nice. And we gain 2 brain, but because I've been messing up, we haven't lost any of that. And that takes us to 4 experience. Now, crud though, none of those gave me a new, main milestone. That one seems like it would be important. Now, the quest I didn't complete is to meet the locals, to have all 3 villages out at the same time. And she said that if they unite, they can do something about it. So crud, I probably got to complete meet the locals and then do something else. There's clearly some gating of the quest, so you can't get to the next major part of the story, which is good though, because that means that the game probably has more linear story than I thought it did. Or well, honestly, I mean, I could make the playthrough longer, but I don't really need to. I'm just going to have Bill move here. And that was with a Moxie. And then I guess I'll have him move with an action, and then I'll have Cordelia move with an action, and then we'll extract. Because, yeah, we did great. Well, hold on. I guess if we do 2 more events, then we get an extra experience. And I do want to find out about those airwaves. So, okay, hold on. We'll go a little bit longer, Mike. So I'll spend Bill's second action to go here, and then here is the nicer way to go through here, because the enemies don't stop you unless they're boars. And that way I'm only going across 1 difficult terrain instead of 2. So I roll a danger die, and hey, that would have advanced threat, but because of that threat assessment ability I got from the River Quest, no, it doesn't. But now I'm going to get that event I got before. Voice on the airwaves. Your comms are interrupted by fragmented and faint overlapping voices. It's hard to make out, but you can swear you hear Brash's name. Maybe his gang is using a hidden frequency. Okay, increase threat by 1. It is 2 away from advancing. Okay, while this is at the top of the event discard, the following action is available. If I do... Okay, that's Bill's worst skill, I just realized. Never mind. It can be talking or investigating. I read 37. All right, Bill's going to spend 2 Moxie to go to 4 D10 with his talking skill. And let's see if we can decipher. Jeez, man. Yep, we're good. Dissonant whispers. The voices seem otherworldly, a cacophony of people all speaking at the same time, straining to hear through the noise. The one refrain that seems to reverberate alludes to some bargain that Brash has made on behalf of his crew. The voices swell until the act of listening becomes unbearable, then suddenly stops. Complete silence broken only by something chilling you to the core. A voice ringing out as clear as crystal, saying just one thing. Your name. What the heck? It sends me through the radio? Okay, dissonant whispers. Oh, I get another experience. This is a great run. Okay, each other steward must quick check to investigate. Otherwise, they lose 2 brain. That's fine. Oh, you know what? I'm stupid. I just remembered. Quick checks aren't supposed to have the danger die. They just have the skill dice. Okay, Cordelia lost, so she goes down to 8. Yeah, I've been playing that wrong. Okay, archive voice on the airwaves and gain a new event and put it at the bottom of the event deck. So I'm still not going to get it this time, obviously. So it's another radio thing, but I'm not going to look at that too carefully because wrong deck, because that's a mystery. All right, we would have to go all the way to that event to clear out or to get 1 more experience from events. I could go do that, but honestly, I don't want to spoil too much. So yeah, let's have us both extract, and I'll show you what happens with that. So we do have to be at the same place. We had to have at least 1 experience, at least 1 adventure point, and we had to have no captains out, which we don't. Okay, so when we get back, we get to spend as many of our adventure points as we want. Each one will mark 1 circle. We can only mark circles with these kind of things if we have gotten that milestone. So we can't go there yet, and we can't go there yet, but we could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 if we wanted to. These spaces cost 3 instead of 1. Oh, but this one doesn't have a requirement, so I could go and do that. You can also save adventure points, so if I had spent all 5 and then I went to another mission and got a ton more and still didn't have anywhere to go, I could just hold on to them. Ooh, look. I didn't know how I would get these. Cordelia, she's actually the one who had the watery vision, funnily enough. I can get this. Does that cost an adventure point? I'm not sure. You know what? Let's go ahead and say I'll do both of these. Again, if you don't want any more spoilers, you can skip forward a little bit to hear my impressions of the game. But yeah, so let's see what 19 and 36 unlock. Out of sync. Your expedition logs have the bees buzzing and the choir singing, Arthur says as he ushers you into a meeting with directors Wu and Elder. I have another meeting, so I'll start, Dr. Wu says, putting her mug of coffee down gently. Analysis of your logs and our tremor frequency data indicates the 3 runestones are desynchronizing. The runestones are a part of the environment I did not encounter this time. It's as if a frequency is missing, Norman Elder jumps in. We see this with bees. The hive mind breaks down when a large piece goes missing. You see Dr. Wu's eyebrows arch at the mention of bees, uncertain whether her colleague intended a slight. She ignores and presses on. Breaking down is an apt analogy. We may be witnessing the precursor to complete cascade failure of the runestone's thalmic energy network. The good news, Arthur adds with a smile to assuage your evident fear, the data shows holes in the system, suggesting new Zalethi locations to explore. As you leave, trying not to worry about complete cascade failures, whatever they are, Norman calls out, "Don't forget to log everything!" Ooh, cool, we unlock some new locations to explore. Love it. And then Cordelia's Vision Quest 1, open your third eye. Thanks for coming, you say, kicking a stone up the path. 18, you count to yourself. Just 2 more and you'll beat your record. Isn't this trail amazing? I was happy to come along, Daichi says. That's another character we didn't use. The countryside outside this institute is gorgeous. His tone settles something in you. There's fun. There's narrative stuff for the characters. I didn't see this yet. You'd worried he only agreed because the others were busy. You keep walking, tapping the stone forward, counting each kick until it skitters off the path. Record broken. You seem more pensive than usual, Daichi says. Did you want to talk outside center point? You stop and nod, suddenly feeling smaller under the open sky. I drank from the endless pond, you blurt out. How could I not? Getting a taste of that magic in Zalethi was too tempting, but it affected me. You brace yourself for his reaction, but he laughs. I drank from it too, he says. As you said, how could I not? You step closer, hope and worry tangling together. Did you have strange visions? Did it change how you see things? I think it might have affected my gifts. I wouldn't worry, he says. Visions tend to open the mind, not break it. New worlds, new paths, that's how we grow. Once after entertaining a Chilean nitrate baron, I woke up on a completely different continent. You blink, unsure whether to believe him, but it makes you smile anyway. His words settle your nerves. The worry loosens its grip, and you spot another stone up ahead. You dart forward without thinking, already lining up your next kick. Yeah, I didn't say before, but Cordelia's background is that she's blind, but she has the power to kind of see with an extrasensory sight. But I get a new skill. Let's see what it is. Curious Visions. Before activating a mission or crisis card, you may spend 1 moxie to choose a symbol other than the one revealed to activate. Oh, that would go into one of these, because some of them are actually almost wholly positive in some of the missions, so that makes sense. Or Trail Guide. When you move out of a space that had another steward, that steward may move with you, then roll for dangerous terrain? What? It's the best ability ever. Now, just to note, 4 is, again, the max that you can bring on a given mission, but you can switch which ones you bring each time. So Cordelia would be full, but she could do Canoe Master or Foresight the next time she played instead of the one she currently has. But there you go. That is Echobound Adventures. Games can be as quick as that if things go well. Now, just to show you what would have happened if Thread had advanced twice more, let's see. Would have gotten Pillage this time. There are 3 at the beginning of the game to randomly choose from. When a location with a site or event icon is placed, add 1 crate to other tokens in these spaces. If any spaces have crates, pirates will move up to 2 spaces towards the nearest crate instead of activating. If a pirate ends its turn on a space with a crate, discard all the crates in the space and increase threat by 1. And, you need to go and collect the crates yourself before you can extract. And then if threat advances again, you go to the Pillage Crisis, which brings out Alistair Brash, the boss. Then you can't extract unless you defeat him, and he's trying to grab more crates, but again, there's just 1 of 3 Act 2s at the beginning of the game. And yeah, I didn't get any captains or bosses, but they have much higher health, clearly you gotta beat. They each have 1 or more cubes, which means you have to defeat them that many times. Like to get rid of Waddles, I would have to get to 6 once and then twice. For Alistair Brash, you gotta beat him 4 times, and he also has other special abilities, and he chases you in special ways. So yeah, there are more interesting enemies, although we just didn't get them in this game. But what do I think of Echobound Adventures? So far, now keep in mind I've only played a little bit, I think this is so fun. I think the game brings up so many interesting questions and threads, like I haven't found out about the red monkey. I don't know what secrets Anacardo the Healer is hiding, or what's going on with the runestones, or what's going on with the tremors. And then why the heck are ghostly voices whispering my name on Brash's Brigands Radio? This is how the game has been each time I've played it, where things have changed, things have evolved. You've seen that locations are different now, and I can have new interactions with them. So I find all that super exciting and engaging. My kids have also enjoyed playing it. They played the first 2 sessions with me. The rules are pretty straightforward, so it's not that hard to get into. Gameplay is quick, skill tests are simple and straightforward, but there are still some tactical choices, trying to avoid enemies, trying to maximize your moxie and action usage to get the most done. So I'm quite charmed by this one. It has shades for me of 7th Citadel, a little bit of Unsettled with the crossing and how the danger stuff works for going over locations. But then it's got a lot of great narrative and exploration going on. Now, will the story keep moving forward in a meaningful way? Is there some kind of climax or finish that'll make it worthwhile? Because for me, open world games just for the sake of open world aren't that interesting. It's hard to say. Also, I can't really imagine me being fully satisfied with just the base game, but I think the price is pretty low compared to some of OpenAL's other games. So I think most people will probably get both expansions, or if you get just the base game and get the expansions later, that'll be fine. But it's hard to tell from how much I've played so far how much remains to be revealed. I mean, there are still a ton of unlockable cards in the Zalethi box after 3 plays, but how long will it take to get to kind of the conclusion of the natural story here? I don't really know. So having 2 extra planets you can go to when you get bored, having 2 extra plots, seems like it'll be a huge value add. So that's definitely something to note, that I don't think just the base box will have enough long-term play by itself. Other things to maybe complain about, I guess the only thing is the dice sometimes rolling threat, even though it's only 1/6 of the die and sometimes not. I've had games where the threat went up incredibly quickly and stuff just spiraled out of control and there were pirates and bosses all over the place. And I've had games like this one where it didn't come up at all and I was kind of able to explore at my leisure. Now, it's not a big deal because even if you do an emergency extraction, you just get less experience and you can try again later. So I guess it does give the game more variety. And hey, I didn't know that I was going to unlock the threat assessment card because that makes one of the main annoying things. Like, I had very lucky movement here, but when you have to go over a bunch of these things and roll a bunch of dice, not counting threat results on those is going to be great because then you'll increase the threat less quickly. So there's a little bit of swinginess in the game and how it resolves. You know, there is some swinginess in the locations. Like if I'm trying to complete the quest that requires me to have 3 villages, and they're all like the last 3 cards in the deck, I'm probably not going to complete that quest on that given play, and I might not get as much accomplished as I want. And I can imagine that the more you play and the more stuff you've done, the less dynamic and exciting each new play is going to be because there will probably be less stuff to discover, which again brings up the point that you'll probably want the expansion at some point so you can switch to another planet when you're kind of getting bored with the jungle. So yeah, I'm super excited for Echobound Adventures. I think this one could be great. I mean, it remains to be seen, but I am very confident for this one, maybe a bit more than even some of the other games from the same company. And I'm very excited to play it more in the future. So that is Echobound Adventures. Go check out the crowdfunding page and see what you think. And again, go watch Steve or Paul's video if you want to see some more stuff and see some more quests. But thanks for watching, everybody, and a special thank you to our biggest Patreon supporters, Dan, J. William F., Steve Wren, KCW, Andrew R., and Chris C. We'll see you at the next stop.